the inconsistency in the use of the verb, especially when it concerns collective nouns. It depends on your intention. When you now say something like the army are marching or the army is marching, then if you say the army is marching, you are looking at the army as a unit, a single word. But here you say the army, they are talking of the individual members of the army. Remember that army is a plural form of soldiers, or collective form of soldiers. Then we are continuing with this. That is the exceptions, or what you have to know about first rule of agreement. Now, when we have a collective followed by of and a plural, it takes a singular verb. So we now say a collection of paintings is lying on the table. A collection of paintings is lying on the table. A team of athletes does not need to quarrel. A team of athletes does not need to quarrel. So here, the A here is now controlling the verb we are using. So this one is not this one that is controlling it, but the singular indefinite article you have here. A case of instruments is under the table. So this is what happens here. With the use of A, we make use of singular verbs. Another one is the use of one. One of, that is one out of many. You find out that many a time people make that mistake. So we say one of the teacher, one of the students. Somebody told me somewhere that she said one of the patronesses, and the other person corrected her to tell her that it's one of the patrons. Please, it is wrong. She's one out of the many. So we are picking that single one. One of my friends does that. That is that one person you pick is the one you are talking about. One from group. So one of the boys is outside. One of the students was absent. One of the lecturers does not want the exam to hold. One of my uncles is living in Lagos. One of my friends asks me to help her. One, that is the singular. We are picking one out of this group. Another one is the indefinite pronoun. Each, every, everybody, anyone, nobody, none. All these things are singular. Each one is singular in its own form. So in that case, when you use any of them, they make use of a singular verb. For instance, every student is required to write the assignment. Everybody is expected to have a national ID card. Nobody attends classes these days. Nobody attends classes these days. None of my friends answered my call. None of my friends answers my call. None answers. That is one out of many. And remember, none is negative. Just like it's in the family of no, nothing. And so in other words, it can go with no one. So if it is none, it can as well be no one or nobody, which is now nothing. Then, when we now use the auxiliary verb, this will cast your mind back to tenses. You find out that in that singular form, it is the auxiliary that takes the form. For instance, he plays football. And how does he play? Or does he play? Does now tells us not does he plays. So that's why I have does he visit? Does has taken it. So this has to be singular. This has to be the infinitive. So you have does he visit the orphanage? He does play. The man has gone. Remember the use of has and have. Has goes for singular. Except for the first person pronoun, singular. Every other part of the third person uses a has. Then first person pronoun, we use have. Plural, singular and plural, have. Second person pronoun, have. Then plural nouns, have. Singular nouns, has. Just to remind you of what we did about tenses. Now with this, we conclude the first rule of agreement. We go into the second rule, which is pronoun antecedent agreement. Rule of agreement, which has the heading pronoun antecedent agreement. The rule states that a pronoun must agree in number, gender, and case with its antecedent. First, what do we mean by antecedent? Antecedent means what comes before. So in this case, the noun that the pronoun is replacing must agree in number. Here, number is concerned with that, whether singular or plural. Gender, here we are talking of masculine, feminine. Case, subject, object. So this is now grouped into three. So we have, this rule implies that one, a pronoun replacing a noun must have the same number. That is what I said. If it is a singular noun, then the pronoun has to be singular. Then a pronoun replacing a noun must be masculine if the noun is masculine, feminine if the noun is feminine, and neuter if the noun is a neuter. You can go back to your lesson on pronoun. Remember, we have nominative, accusative, genitive. The nominative is the subject. That means that subject pronoun will replace the subject noun. Then accusative is the objective or the object pronoun, which will now replace the object noun. Then genitive is for possession. So having mentioned this, let us look at examples. For the first rule, where you have number, I have here a dog and a cat, which is plural. If you go back to our first rule of agreement, there is a plural noun. To replace this plural noun, I now use they, which is a plural pronoun. So a dog and a cat are fighting. They are fighting over a piece of meat. They are fighting over a piece of meat. Then another example, the students were asked to wait. The students, plural, those were the students that failed the exam. So those now replaces the students. So here now we have discussed the first segment of the second rule of agreement, whereby a singular noun is replaced by a singular pronoun and a plural noun replaced by a plural pronoun. Maybe because I didn't go with a singular one, you might be confused. If I now have the teacher lives in the school compound. She is always punctual. So I cannot say the teacher lives in the compound. They are always punctual. I mentioned one teacher, so I should use one singular man. Since I'm talking about third person, I'll have to use the third person singular. And the third person singular here is female. So I'm now using she is always a punctual. So I have the teacher singular, she singular replacing the teacher. Then the examples for number 2 of the segment, which says the pronoun replacing the noun must be masculine if the noun is masculine. So I have that man over there is Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson, I have already started with that man, Mr. Johnson. So I have to replace it with he. He is a wealthy man. Remember, that man and Mr. Johnson refer to the same person. He is a wealthy man. So he now is taking the place of the man, Mr. Johnson. Then here again, the woman quarreled with her husband. At times you hear people say his husband. Husband is masculine, and husband should be the one marrying the woman. Let us forget about the homosexuality that is going on now, so we don't have to talk about that. So here now, the normal thing is male-female. We know that the woman is the wife, and so when you talk about the man and say he is wife, and then the woman has a husband, so it has to be her husband. So because I have a woman here, then I'll have her husband. Because it is the woman now that is owning the man in this situation, not the man. Now look at this one. The lady sang very well, but when accompanied, she croaks. The lady, feminine, she, feminine. Then a dog is a domestic animal. A dog is a domestic animal. We know that since this is no particular dog with their name, when we refer to animals like this, we use the neuter gender. So we now say it is flesh. It here replacing the dog. So here I can as well say that tree there is a mango tree. Its fruit is sweet. Its fruit is sweet. So it now representing the tree. For number 3, the subject object. The boy killed a snake. The boy is the subject. You can cast your mind again back to our first term lesson on subject and the predicate. The boy is the subject. Perform the action of killing. The snake receives the action, a snake. So here, this is the subject, this is the object. In this sentence now, I've replaced he, the performer, incidentally, it's also doing the second rule of agreement, the second segment of the rule, because here, the boy is masculine. So why I'm replacing the object with he? I'm now replacing it with the masculine object, which is he. Then I have it for the snake. So the object now replacing the snake is it. I have here again, Jane, the subject, invited Mary and Paul. Now Mary and Paul are plural, and they are the people receiving the invitation. So in that case, Jane is the subject, and Mary and Paul the object. So in replacing them with pronoun, I have again she as the subject and them as the object. Remember, if you look at this and this one here, they is performing the action. Here, them receiving the action. So them is the object, plural, and they is the subject, plural. He is the subject, she is the subject, he is subject masculine, she is subject feminine. It subject neuter. Then for objects, you have him masculine, her masculine, sa feminine. That is for objects. You have he masculine subject, objects him. Then feminine, you have she masculine, her object. She subject, feminine she, subject, her object. Then neuter has the same form, both masculine and both subject and the object. In other words, it is it subject, it object. It is only in the genitive, that is the possessive form, that it has its. So I believe with this explanation, we are clear with. I will explain once again. Under the subject object, I said subject pronoun masculine is he. Object pronoun masculine him. Subject pronoun feminine she. Object pronoun feminine he, her. Then neuter is it, both subject and the object. Then plural they is the subject, them is the object. Remember, the plural pronoun can go for whether masculine, feminine, or neuter. So with this, we have come to the end of second rule of agreement. Before we do the third rule, I want us to do something on vocabulary. Thank you. That will be for another class.